Hey, everybody. How we doing tonight?
Doing
It's been a while.
It has been a little bit, but
on a
luckily
Wednesday. Can't believe it.
it is Wednesday, my dudes. Luckily for us, we have an opportunity in front of us. It is time for our first prelude of the campaign.
Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
baby. It's all about.
Yes.
This is
So,
true.
without further ado, let us begin.
Yes, sir.
It is currently rather late in the evening, just before nightfall. Each of you have been invited, as per your leader, Tezo, to head on over to a local inn. It is here that each of you will meet up and start to discuss a plan as you attempt to take down, or at least figure out, if something is wrong with how our Arasana is handling their mercantile exchange within this wonderful city of Dugan. I'm attempting to move players to the new scene and struggling to do so.
But this music is vibing.
Yes, it is. I agree
This
with
is
that.
true.
Your text, bottom text.
Would everyone mind
Yeah.
checking to make sure that they can move their character?
No way.
I can?
Yo.
No fucking way.
What about you, Golden?
Say that again.
Can you move your character?
Yes.
Woo! Everyone is here. I would say it's up to the group of you. What order do you think people end up getting up here? Who do you think's first? Who do you think ends up coming in late? How do you choose to describe your entrance to this locale?
Um,
You can go.
I would say that our diviner friend likely arrives precisely 5 minutes early to the second.
Very wise. Is anyone there before that, or either Atane or Tezo? Atane or Tezo currently present before those 5 minutes?
Don't even have to ask if Kai is.
Taser will arrive 4 minutes before.
Ooh,
So a
a
minute
minute
after.
later. Hiroue starts to sit down and he sees Tezo walk through the door as the dusty little bit of sandstone off to the side and starts to give a little bit of way as he makes his way into the room, into the cozy into the cozy Dark Sun Inn.
Taser's going to kind of look around, and then as soon as he sees Hiroue, kind of gives a smile and raises a hand to get his attention.
Hero is going to raise a hand to flag him over.
Walk over. Oh, well, I hope this, you're excited for this. Should be. How are you feeling?
As excited as for any other job, I should say. I have done several readings before this, and while I know they get more and more inaccurate each time, the inaccuracy itself can be a useful tool. For instance, I know that at the very least, this job will not end in neither weal nor woe.
Good thing to know. Good thing to know.
So we need to be prepared for some events, I should say.
One should always be prepared for some events, but knowing is half the... Well, knowing... I'm starting to trip over my words. You are looking to prove yourself as a leader, yes.
I would say so, yes. I should hope that my magics prove useful in aiding the efficiency of our teams.
And I'll make sure to give you ample opportunity to prove your strengths today.
So, Atane, Kai, how do each of you want to choose to make your entrance?
Am I already in the room?
You can choose to be entering the room now, or you could have been in a corner unseen.
Fucking exist.
Okay, the names are under the.
Yeah, if you hover over someone, it will show their name. Or I believe if you hold Alt, no, is one of the buttons that if you
Just
hold
hover.
it, yeah, Alt also holds it over all of them.
I didn't realize I can move the arrow keys. I'll enter the room.
Taser will kind of look around, sees you enter the room, kind of, over here.
Tazo. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How have you been?
It's been a day.
Many of those come through, but we'll always make it through the other side. And today, what a I don't know, opportunist occasion to maybe turn things around.
Right.
Yes.
Have you two? Oh yes. Go.
We know that today will be at least somewhat eventful, so ample opportunities.
Have you two met each other much before? How well acquainted are you?
We
JC,
have
will you?
met. You go ahead.
I was asking out of character, JC.
What's up?
Have our characters met, or is he like the new guy? GM?
He's a little bit of a new guy to you. You have some of the most tenure here. You're not particularly high ranking in the guild, but you've been here a long time. Hiroue is a little on the new side, but he's not so new that he's not fresh blood. He's experienced enough to be properly an adept in the guild and actually making his way through and rising at quite a prodigious rate. You might have worked with him once, but if you did, it would not have been particularly significant. He does have a name for himself though, because he is rising fairly quickly and growing very proficient by the day.
Okay, back in character. I believe I've seen you around here before.
And I've certainly seen you around before.
I'm sorry, it was Hiroue.
Hiroue, yes. And
Yes.
you are Atane.
That is correct.
It's good. This is good. Getting acquainted before our mission is, we got to make sure we're all on the same page. Familiarity is a great start.
Of course.
Do either of you know this Kai should be joining us?
If I am not mistaken, Kai should be arriving very soon.
If I know anything about him, he'll just be late, like he always is.
Well, let's make sure we have a full set of chairs for this table we're going to sit at. Starts grabbing some chairs, making sure everything's set up.
About 5 minutes past the agreed meeting time, Kai is going to bombastically open the doors. Kind of look
slam
around
into
the
the
room,
wall.
eyes squinted, flags down Tezo, goes, "Hey!" and makes his way over.
Good to see you're in high spirits. Although a little bit earlier might have been nicer.
Listen,
And I turns to Hiroue and says, "I told you."
Listen, I was going to get here early, and then some cockwaffle tried to steal my purse, so, I had to chase him down. You know the deal.
Well, let's try and make sure we only chase down who we need to on this mission.
Yeah.
Well, the result I got was Wheel and Woe, so I knew it had to be one of the others, so I guessed wrong.
From your fancy words, you must be Hiroue.
Yes, and you must be Kai.
I see my reputation precedes me.
We can go with that.
This is good. A good bit of dialogue before everything goes well, before we get into everything. Is this, everyone? Correct? Let me
It should be, yes.
double checking my memory,
I mean, you're the one who assigned it all together, big man.
Well, of course, but, any last minute things you might want to tack on, I need to make sure.
I mean, we're meeting in a bar, right? Where are the drinks?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sure what everyone was interested in. Please.
Don't worry,
Go ahead,
order
Paul.
one for everyone. If they don't want it, I'll have it.
Of course. Taser will go ahead and order a round of whatever is the common people like the most. A beer of some kind or something.
It's given the current time of year and that it's starting to get pretty cold, you go with something that's a little bit brighter of a drink that warms you up a lot more. It's called Sea Witch's Fire, and it tastes a little bit seaweedy, a little bit kelpy, a little bit like that sort of sushi sort of deal, and it brings with it not just heat from how it's flavored with like a little bit of spice, but it also has a very good job at like warming you up and like a little bit under your heart.
This is lovely. Oh, always good. Love the good sea senses hitting you.
I would prefer not to drink on the job if that's alright. I need to be in top shape for my magics.
Exactly what I expected as he grabs the tankard.
Well, without further ado, we are all here today to check out a certain cloth emporium by the name of the Arsana Mornings. They've been moving a little bit more freight than they really should be. So we need to make sure everything's right as rain over there. And if for some reason they are trying to move out, we need to make sure that they pay all the taxes for the month.
After
We know if
downing,
they have paid their tax this month.
after downing a whole flagon, he slams it on the table. They're up to some shit, I'll tell you.
What was that comment, Golden?
I said, do we know if they've paid their tax this month?
You know that since you are the one with the exceptional memory, you made sure to go through and check up and see it. They currently are outstanding on their current month's taxes, but it's also one where they are very regularly ones who pay it much later into the month, and so it is not unusual for them not to have paid it by now, but they have not.
I see.
The report came in from a manifesto brought forth by the Court of Sea, yes?
That is correct.
Yes. So, of course, Hiroue has provided us information that this might not go perfectly smoothly. So we need to make sure, as good teams are, we're all on the same page of things. why don't, a quick little thing, I think it would be nice just to make sure we're all familiar with each other. We'll go around and we'll say one of our strengths, and then, I don't know, something fun. We'll say our favorite food. Does that sound good? Could be nice, just get to know each other real quick.
That sounds like a great idea.
Excellent. I am Taser. I will be trying to make sure I strategize everyone around. Been around the block a little bit. And my favorite food is, I'd say, veal is nice. If that works within lore.
Sure.
Cool. Kai, why don't you go next since you're so enthusiastic?
I, as you all know, am Kai, a warrior budding of great renown. My favorite thing to eat. I guess I'll say whatever fills my stomach.
Nice. Very nice.
On that,
Atane.
I'm rather inclined to...
Oh, sorry.
Apologies.
No, feel free.
I was going to say, on that, I rather agree with Kai. Being pragmatic about foodstuffs is, well, pragmatic.
I understood about half of that.
Gotcha.
As
And
for myself, I am Hiroue, and I am versed in divination and magics in general.
nice. Atane.
As most of you already know, I am Atane. I'm a wizard. I don't really care much for food, but I prefer not to drink before a job.
There.
Pucker up, you old coot. Relax and maybe have some fun. Life's not worth living if you're not gonna do something with it.
This is work. We're not supposed to be having fun.
Work can be fun.
Work can certainly bring enjoyment. I mean, you should hope to find purpose in what you're doing. And as he's kind of saying this, Taser's going to grab Atane's amount of alcohol before Kai can grab it.
The fun I'll be having, as he sort of slams his fist onto the table, is proving that those shits framed me.
Now let's not be too hasty. Sorry about your past. But I guess on the topic of proving oneself, you all, I think, have a lot of room to grow, with your time with the guild, and think of this as a very important step. It might not seem super significant of a task, but I think always take opportunities as they come, and everything is an opportunity to grow. But are there any questions before we maybe plan some things out and get on our way?
Do we have any contacts in Arasana?
Not
Anyone who
currently.
we may know?
Just letting Tazo know. Not currently. You previously had one, but they got relocated.
Oh, we used to have one, but he ended up getting relocated.
If we're done with the strategy questions, my question is, are you gonna drink that? As he gestures to the one that he moved away.
He's just going to pick it up, drink, just chug half of it, put it down, and he'll be like, "Can you handle half?"
I could handle two. As he takes the other, takes the flagon and the other half.
All right. Kai, you be the kind of silent muscle, I think, as we go in.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. I'm a people person. You know that I'm not the silent type.
Oh, but don't you want to hit them with a bit of surprise when your exuberance comes out?
You're flattering me, and it's working. Fine.
Play it fairly straight at the beginning. Hiroue, maybe you would like to show off some strength in parlaying with them. And Atane, maybe as Hiroue and I kind of take that front, you can be looking around a little bit, seeing if you can check out anything, that shouldn't be going on.
Before we get started with this, can we verify Kai's report that... Let me see the note here that I wrote down. That their supplies in the nearby hamlets were not on registry, some of them.
Well, Kai,
Supposedly, they did have a mark of travel, but I checked that thing up and down. The fucker lied to me, and when they investigated it, it was there the whole time. Look at this, as he points to his nose. You see this? This is special. It smells bullshit.
Fair.
It also
Then-
gets you into bullshit.
And out of it.
Would
Although
very
that's
well-
more of these, as he raises his fists.
Well, both. I mean, one might be proving more useful than the other. Pay close attention to them as we're talking to them. Perhaps you can sniff something out in what they're saying.
Oh, trust me, you'll know.
Well, let's keep things as copacetic as possible until, things need to go down.
Sometimes
wait on-
words fail, and fists are the answer.
Well, I'll give the order for if we need to go into fists.
I'll try. As he sort of like rolls his eyes.
Oh, this is gonna go great. All right.
Harder than last time.
Oh, what happened last time?
I admit I don't remember what last time you are speaking of.
Out of character, I would... what's his name? Would Tezo know about the controversy he's gotten? Because that's what I would have been referencing.
He does. He's just asking questions. He just likes to have people be apparent.
You should know what I'm referring to, Tezo.
Then let's not, maybe not beat down on our allies before going into a job.
Damn, somebody else gotten shit other than me? That's not what I was expecting. No wonder you grabbed me.
All right, let's go ahead and head over there and see what happens.
Right, yes.
Don't worry, Hiroue. It will just be a standard job.
Nothing's ever standard with me, as he sort of flexes.
That's what I'm worried about. And the explicit warning that something would be happening for weal and or woe.
Be on high guard.
He takes a big whiff of the air and points at his nose with and nodding a little bit as he gets up to go.
We begin to head off. I also like I don't know, it just popped in my head. Please let this be a normal mission with Kai? No way!
No way! Aww!
Cruising on down Main Street.
So true.
So what does
Alright.
this establishment look like from the outside as we make our way there? Why does it keep slipping my mind?
Arasana?
Yeah, Arasana.
Oh, Jesse?
Can you ask it specifically?
Swabby?
What does the Arasana mornings look like as we make our way there? to
As
see it?
you start to make your way down, the streets are surprisingly slightly more busy than usual, given the time of now night. It's going a little bit cleanly. The street has a lot of people moving back and forth, and as you get closer, it's iconic black and green trim that it's put up on the outside of all of its nearby buildings that it owns is a great mark of honor for them, and they make sure to showcase green and black as their family colors very prominently.
Gotcha.
I will try to see if there's a way to... Well, that just lets people move it. Is there a way to move everyone? There is. Uh-oh. I've hidden it.
Oh.
Ew.
If you right-click on the navigation and then activate the scene, that will pull everybody there and make it like the current scene.
Gotcha, okay. I see. Problem is, I just accidentally... I don't think I deleted it, because if so, that's very bad. I think I hid it from navigation, so I gotta pull it back up. Yeah. There we go. You are in the bottom right of the scene.
Hey.
There's a few vendors nearby attempting to sell midnight snacks and like pre-cooked for tomorrow morning and a whole bunch of other fancy things like that. There's a few people transporting goods. There's a particularly few shady looking fellows down this nearby corridor as it leans to the back, just sort of chilling there, just watching people go by. The current torch gems that line the street are most prominent and excellently maintained in front of the Arasana building. And all in all, the city is abuzz with life as it always is, even as night continues onwards.
Before we go in, I should take one moment, Rio. One moment. Hiroue kind of touches his fingers just below his eyes and quickly casts Detect Magic on himself. There. If they have... It is just a precaution, but if there is anything amiss, I should be able to spot it.
Very good to think ahead. Does anyone have any other preparations they would like to do? I'm open.
I'm
to
already
what
prepared to
suggestions.
smash some heads in. As he sort of like puts his hand into his other, fist into his open hand.
Going to need to keep a close eye on you.
Listen, we all know some shit's gonna go down. I don't know why I'm the only one pretending like it's not.
You go into it with that kind of attitude, shit will go down.
The diviner said that shit was gonna go down. He's literally a diviner.
You're not wrong, but thinking about things to, I don't know, sometimes you make your own, you dig, I'm getting my metaphors mixed up. You don't want to dig yourself in your own hole by assuming that pure muscle will be the way to get out of something going down. Something going down could mean many different things.
Right, and I should clarify, I have cast several minor divinations today, so each one, the result that I receive is going to be wrong, but it's in interpreting what it could be. So we know that something is going to happen, but whether it is good, bad, or both, we do not know.
I guess we'll just follow my nose.
I'll put
Whatever.
faith in that.
I'll keep it under rain as long as shit isn't stirring.
And as soon as shit does get stirred, you do have rain to use what you're most talented at. Kind of gesturing towards his fists. All right, let's go ahead and head in. Hiroue, if you would like to head up talking first, you can. Just to show me what, kind of skills you've been improving at. Otherwise, I can introduce us.
Thank you.
All right.
And Hiroue takes the first steps into the building, taking in the sights of the interior, kind of panning his sight from left to right before settling on whatever people are actually inside.
The immediate inside, there's simply 2 guards waiting immediately inside who, upon you just looking in, just kind of remain there and look at you. They are similarly coated out with a form of chainmail with a little bit of leather padding at other parts. It is also pretty ornately woven with golds, blacks, and greens to designate them specifically as they are. Well, once you choose to try to take a step in, they say, "No entry without a permit." Sorry, lad.
We are Stone Court auditors. We have business with this establishment's proprietor.
Hold it for just a moment, will you, care? And one of them moves back into the center of the complex. If you wait just a minute, I'm sure he'll be back, and I'm sure we can talk about whatever we need to.
Right.
And with
Well-
that, Hiroue returns to the group.
While Hiroue was doing that, Teiza's going to lean over to Atane and kind of be like, "Do you see those individuals down the alleyway there? The kind of rough ones that you would describe, DM.
Hooligans!
Hooligans. Can you pick up anything about their purpose here? Could be linked if we do think they're doing shading dealings."
I'll keep an eye out. I've already made note of them.
Thank you.
As you kind of eye up their posture and how this small group of them sort of move around, it's clear that they are staying around here for some reason, that they have a particular vested interest in that exact location. At the moment, they're just sort of loitering around with entering one of the buildings off on the side. It could be a local hangout, it could be some sort of operation going on, it could just be that that's their home and they're just, loitering teens having a, just sort of chilling before they head inside for a more feisty night.
Hiroue, what did they say?
They said no entry without a permit, but the proprietor should hopefully be out soon. If not, then we insist.
Already they deny us entry.
Yes. I'm worried that perhaps they're, Kai, like you had said, with your investigations, getting things prepared. Perhaps maybe we step in a little bit more, see what we can see, and just say that this matter is urgent and they don't want to disgrace their colors.
In that case, I will follow your lead, Tezo.
Alrighty. Tezo's going to go ahead and walk up to the front and kind of look in, kind of telling the others, also keep your eyes sharp. Kai, keep your nose sharp.
He takes a deep breath in and then narrows his eyes.
One of the salesmen nearby sort of looks over at Kai while he's doing that. Come on, friend, you look like you're having a real rough day. I don't suppose you'd be interested in this. And he sort of picks one up and rotates one of his apples around. This is straight from just north of Grosh, from the Grand Orchards. It's great luck for anyone who buys it, especially at nighttime down here.
What the hell is it?
This is a delicious apple. And he just
Never heard of it.
Well, how's that? And he just takes it and cuts it in half. First half's free, just for you.
He's gonna take the half of the apple and kind of look at it, and like very like inspecting it. Does this merchant seem genuine, or is he just doing like the classic merchant upsell?
It is a genuine merchant. He is selling apples. It could very well be the idea that, you know, apples are lucky at night, especially in a city that worships the moon quite heavily.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna shrug and eat the whole half of apple whole, kind of crunch on it.
He looks on with a slight bit of horror and disgust as you know, swallow the seeds and stem whole.
A little odd on the texture, but it tastes wonderful. He sort of nudges oh, my mouse is dead. He sort of nudges Atane. You should get one. Maybe their sweetness will pucker up your sour attitude.
We're on a job, Kai.
It's a... you see what I mean? He says to the merchant.
I can loan you a few copper for this.
Hiroue! I've always known you're a good man. As he kind of holds his hand out.
How much is it?
It is a pittance. He sets a price that to him seems a little high, but to you seems totally reasonable and just, you know, immediately easily traded, very well within reason. He probably gets it in bulk because it is a city of well-informed merchants and it is easily handled.
Hiroue deposits the necessary coinage in Kai's hand.
He turns around quickly and excitedly and drops the coins out of his very large hand into the merchant's.
Atane.
Mhm.
As this entire situation's going on, you're focused on the job, and so as you look around, you see a new figure, a rather bulky individual, not fat, but a little bit larger and stronger, not anything close to Kai, standing in a rather fanciful fur and integrated weave jacket, waiting at just inside the entrance of the building, watching and just smiling a little bit with as this whole situation is going on.
Would I recognize him?
You would not. Of note, it's not like there are pictures or anything that are in the archives for keeping records of places. The hints of black, green, and gold on the inlays and at the stitches gives some hint to, you know, his identity.
Yeah, I nudge Tezo, saying, "Any idea who that is?"
Do I have any idea who that is?
Yes.
Well, that's one of the people who you're here to try to talk to. Saluna Arasana.
That is Saluna Arasana. It should seem we should go ahead and head in. Please focus up.
As he looks over with like a mouthful of an apple.
And try to swallow that before we get fully over there.
Yeah.
Tizo makes his way over, kind of coaxing everybody to move over. Also, the game is paused. I don't know if we're supposed to be able to move our tokens. Hello there. How are you this fine night, evening?
Ah, yes, forgive me for distracting you from a fine evening of shopping.
We were merely waiting, since it seemed we weren't able to come in so welcomed.
Well, I pay these guards quite a fair bit of money to protect this place, so glad to hear that they're doing their job well. Now, Stone Court auditors, how peculiar. And what, may I ask, is your purpose for visiting Arasana mornings on this late evening? Surely not a social call, I imagine.
No, of course not. Although, perhaps that we should discuss more often, keeping in close relations with the many vendors of this city would be nicer than anyone trying to keep secrets from us. It seemed like
Crunching
you all...
noise as Kai bites into another apple midway through the sentence.
Yes, I see.
Why don't you get
Keeping a
another
close eye on
one?
vendors is something you seem quite almost preoccupied with. And I kind of glance back at the apple stall that you were just purchasing from, despite the fact that you're apparently here to speak with me. Seems impatient, but hey, it's your life. Hiroue, I will say, you do detect magic coming from Mr. Arasana. But I believe that's all that I need to tell you.
And the School of Magic.
Are you using an action?
Yeah, I will use the action to.
Okay. Nothing that you see on his person has any specific magical aura, but you do detect it coming from him, from that direction.
Makes sense since it looks like he's a Furbolg.
He is a Furbolg. He is also, well, it's cold, so he's dressed pretty much completely. He has gloves, fur. There's a lot of layers, is what I'm telling you.
Hazer will go ahead and continue. We noticed that you seem to be moving a bit more freight out of the city than what you should be. Just wanted to check in, see what was the case of that. Perhaps you were moving out on us.
Well, business has been going quite well. Can a merchant not increase his sales?
I believe it should be something that is taken up with the registry first.
Interesting. Was that it then?
Well, what have you been moving? Perhaps we can come in. It's quite chilly out.
Oh, forgive me, and where are my manners? Please, please. Right this way. And he will lead you in. The interior is beautiful, befitting what he considers to be a premier establishment.
As you step into the beginning, it has a gentle downward slope of stairs after the first little bit that leads to a small foyer area where there's a gentle like skylight that gives great view of the sun at this time of night. There's a few different buildings that surround it, each a little bit distinct, but all ultimately part of this complex. It's a little bit like a lot of traditional European, like Italian buildings, where there's a central open area that's a shared commons between a few different rooms. There's a little bit of industry and weaving and fixing up being going on in a few of the nearby rooms. Some of the doors are closed and locked, others are open and ready access. And there's a few guards up and about on the upper areas of this structure as well.
Before Atane steps in, he's going to peer down the alleyway at the hooligans.
They're having a little bit of a laugh with each other and like entering another one of the doors nearby, which now that you've had a little bit of a look inside, you can start to piece together that it's entirely possible that the doors they're entering could end up being connected to some of the buildings in here.
I see.
Wow, this is really quite the establishment. Very nice.
Well, thank you. As I said, business is going quite well, and we pride ourselves on the value and quality of our products.
Of
Do you own
course.
any Arasana silks?
Oh, I used to be a little bit more extravagant, but unfortunately I've had to be saving up for other things, so I've not had the pleasure. But, I mean, perhaps you can change my mind. What are some of your favorites?
Mr. GM, do we have anything on display?
There are plenty of things on display for you to choose. It's basically they have a shit ton of different silks. They have actual like spider silk, they have grand spider silks, they have actual like woolen weaves, they have a bunch of different kinds of leathers that end up getting embroidered and Golden, what's the term in Underrail where you put the super steel in?
Infused?
Infused, yeah. That's infused with a bunch of different like pieces of metal going through to help increase like magic conductivity, like the works. If you can imagine a type of fabric or cloth or other textile, you've got some on display that you could show. It is everything from just slightly above normal grade to absolute luxury. The only thing they don't have is shit.
Okay.
Damn. Out
So,
of luck.
glancing up and down, Mr. Atane with I'll say a perceptive eye from one that's been in this trade for quite some time. I'm going to walk slowly over to one of the displays that we have. A more moderate silk, not one of our highest grades, but also not one of our lowest. With a repeating motif in colors of gold and blue. And say, someone like you, I think this might... Well, I think you'd enjoy this pattern. It would look fitting for you, but... Well, it sounds like the Guild of Merchants isn't quite rewarding you for your efforts. It's a shame, but...
I merely have future plans which, require saving. But, I don't know, after seeing this, Hiroue, isn't this quite nice?
It is. I had intended to buy something nice for myself when the summer came around, and layers upon layers were not quite so necessary.
Well, I'm sure you'll find something to layer as well if you have a watchful eye for what we've got. But, well, though shopping seems to be on your mind tonight, I know that's not why you're here.
Yes. You had spoken of business doing very well. Have you moved into a new, new product or perhaps new locations that you're trading with?
Well, we do trade with various cities in the area, but no, I think our quality really speaks for itself, and, well, the people respond with their hard-earned coin.
And are those trades with other cities in the registry?
I'm sorry, I couldn't tell if that was an in-character question or if you were just speaking.
That was an in-character
was.
question, and the answer is of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, is a merchant not meant to do business with other merchants?
You know, it just seems a little. My friend here, he kind of gestures towards Kai. He had been investigating a bit of a thing, and there was just a little bit of an indiscrepancy that showed up there. Of course, everything got cleared up, but
He kind of
having
rolls his eyes.
having rumors like this multiple times, you understand how it could make us a little concerned.
Well, it is embarrassing, but... Well, we've had a few assistants come and go that weren't quite up to muster, but... Well, we're working on improvements to the staff. But please, we're here in the precipice. If you'd like to come in, I can show you around a little bit.
Yes, I think that would be very nice. Perhaps you can take us around, maybe Katane and Kai. Maybe you can get a different tour from us, you know. This is a large place to take in. Surely we don't want to take up too much of your time. Maybe, you know, they can go and look at things and you can show us different things.
Again, I look to Mr. GM, if you could assist.
That is entirely your choice. Play it. Feel free to
do I
play it how
have
you want.
assistants? Do I have anyone here that can guide them someplace?
Sure, absolutely.
perfect.
You have like second in commands. You have like siblings of the Arasana family. You have just intern level people who are working mills that you could just say, hey, show them around.
Okay, perfect.
You got any number of things you could do.
I love being wealthy. It's so nice to have...
I love it. D&D, the true fantasy.
Yeah, right. You mean I don't have to do everything myself?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So true, bestie.
You are what you eat. I am rich people.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so I would be more than happy to take Tezo and Hiroue with me. And I will call somebody over. It's another furball, a little bit younger than I am, but similarly dressed. And I will ask them to take Atane and Kai on a tour of the grounds so that they can see what we have here. Very proud of what we're working on. Tezo and Kai will actually take to my office if that's okay, because it feels like, sorry, not Kai, Hiroue, just so we can kind of talk business, if that's all right.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Before Kai and Atane fully go off, he's just going to kind of very slyly whisper to them Atane, keep your eyes up. Kai, don't feel afraid to lead the way of your group.
He smiles and nods.
And then he and Hiroue, or he follows.
You'll end up making your way over into the nearby room, which is rather decently decorated. It has not just things that are actually relevant to the industry itself, but he's also got a fair bit of trinkets from mostly across the empire, and a few of them, across the kingdoms, and a few that are a bit less easily describable. He's got a few funky maps that he likes to display on the walls. He's got a few simpler weapons, nothing that would need, actual full martial permitting or anything like that. He's got a few smaller statues, artworks, those sorts of things that decorated, along with quite a deal of books and documents that he is willing to show you to prove the legitimacy of the situation.
I also wanted to say, do not mistake our purpose here. We are here to clear up any misunderstandings, to ensure that any negative rumors are quelled.
I will say my only cause for concern is that you came unannounced so late at night. It did give me pause, but, well, I am nothing if not open.
And we appreciate that very much. Thank you.
And I appreciate that you appreciate that. And he kind of smiles.
Looking at the kind of the books that we are shown of records and such, does it seem like too squeaky clean, or is it like? Does it actually just seem like this is?
If it was
like,
our world,
good?
it would seem too squeaky clean. The city of Dugon prides itself on making sure everything is meticulous and holding up its merchants to inscrutable standards.
Gotcha. Okay. Everything seems in place.
Well, I'm very happy to hear it.
It seems, it's very nice, but
There is still the problem of, while all of them may have proper actual transit logs and actual, destinations, the point still stands that they are submitting more than they are supposed to, and as a result, most of those are unlisted locations, and if the information you've been getting is correct, at least.
so like in the books, it's like just the amount they're shipping. It's correct, but it's showing still too much, and the new locations are like unlisted.
No, everything in the books is correct. It is, but the books to you seem incomplete. It does not seem like it would cover all of the proper transactions given observational data that you have.
Gotcha. It looks, as I said, great, but it doesn't quite match up with our knowledge.
There are 2 or 3 magical auras, also 2 in the area beyond the one that gently comes from him. One which is coming from a nearby, like one of his drawers at his desk, and one which is coming through just beyond the wall, so much so that it's probably like just on the other side of the wall with how weak it is in that direction, given the fact that most of the structure is made out of stone.
Okay. And using the action, what school do they register as?
One of them is able to register as evocation. The other is, I believe, enchantment. The
Okay,
third
which
is
one is
still
which?
unidentifiable. The enchantment one is on the other side of the wall.
Hiroue is going to tuck that information away.
Going
Plus-
back.
Oh yeah, you go.
Well, just going back to the question you'd asked. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I know we do quite a lot of business, and as I said, we've recently had to let go one of the assistants here who was helping me with the bookkeeping. Didn't seem quite as, clean as I'd like them to be, but would you mind, please, tell me a little bit more about these things that you think might be missing?
Teizo lays out the information that I don't know the specifics of, kind of laying out the ideas of like, well, you see, there are these kind of, so it's like locations that we know these ships are headed to. This is DM question.
Only some of them are ships. Most of them are more caravans and carts. Most of them have been going to the northeast generally, a little bit more east than northeast. But a few of them are going much more north.
It's just with everything that you're sending to the north and northeast, it seems to not show up here quite as much as we've been noticing. Again, you seem slightly protective of who you are shipping to, which I understand there's a certain amount of privacy you want to keep with vendors, maybe, but I just wonder why you would want to keep it so secret unless something a little bit more devious might be happening. But of course, these are just these rumors we want to clear up.
He just kind of laughs and says, "You misunderstand, and I apologize for not being more clear. It is not a matter of secrecy, but rather number. I ship to the capital, I ship... and I don't know how to pronounce these names, so you're going to have to bear with me.
You get
Am I reading this right? Chibalo? Is that a...
Yes.
Is that a, okay.
Yes.
Chibalo, Evil. We're quite busy, you see, and I couldn't possibly remember the names of each merchant, but... I assure you, there's no secrecy here, just my own memory, not quite as accurate as my papers.
so. Slippery memory tends to lead to slippery papers, which is not a very good outcome. Who was this individual you had to let go of?
I don't have a name written down.
You can feel free. Improvisational moment happens, and it is the person who was the person on your inside, as well as another individual who was not affiliated with the guild.
Yes,
Gotcha.
those are the people.
Those
Sloppy
people.
work, unfortunately, but... Well, though I hate to see them unemployed, I can't have them working on these, in this property when they're not meeting our standards.
Of course, of course. We'd actually been able to speak to one of them, and I don't know, they seem to have a pretty good track record in their history.
Yes. This is why they were hired at all. But I think you'll agree, a track record means very little compared to an active, well, or perhaps less active meeting of standards. Surely you wouldn't want to work with someone who is consistently forgetting things and leaving things out?
Of course, of course. Perhaps, show us, hold on, let me, brain thinky, if we want to switch over.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that
I
would
think
be a
of
great
things.
time to
Yeah.
switch over.
Perhaps,
Atane and Kai are in the
Meanwhile.
compound. Hiroue, Heizo, and Mr. Arasana have all moved into their office. The younger kid moves over and says, "Hi and welcome," and gives a very deep bow to each of you.
Hello there, young one.
I just have a smile. I was told I can show you around a little. Like, what did you want to see?
Anything you would like to show us? Thank you for having us.
Of course. They move their way over to a small display stand, and given how you phrased it, he goes through and shows some of the patterns that he personally likes working on and that he likes when they get to do more of, and ends up spending, honestly, a little too long, so long that you'd probably be within your right to try to cut him off, in that he goes into the detail of what makes it a special pattern and how it works and how it's just wonderful.
Surely you have more than just this to show us.
Well, of course. And they're a bit flustered and moves into the nearby room where most of the actual work on it's being done, rather than just where a lot of the storage of the cloths are. He goes around, shows, making sure that they're proper working conditions for all the people who are working there. They give gentle nods. The room is sufficiently chilly for the degree of work that they're working on. It's a good mix of actual proper labor and magic, using magic to make sure that tasks are done efficiently, especially when it comes to integrated weaving of magical items and fabrics into the textile itself. Everything there at least seems up to snuff.
Say, little one, are you related to the sir running the establishment?
Yes, sir, I am.
And how so?
He is my father. and just gives a slight bow with his head.
A great honor. You have a very nice place here.
It's a nice place with a nice dad. He's the best one I've got.
Say, is there anywhere in here that your father tries to tell you to stay away from?
He tells me not to get too close to the machines while they're fully running, especially if they're from someone else. There was one time somebody had a real nasty accident and lost their finger in it when it pressed down on it, and I do not want that to happen to me because that is a no-go. I like all 8 of my fingers.
And I need all 10 of mine, as he falls into two fists and shadow boxes.
The kid matches your retort in what is quite obviously very sloppy form.
Keep at it, kid. Maybe one day you'll have it.
What we mean, young one, is any areas of the building, not the things in them.
Oh, well, he tells me not to go into the storage room too often because it tends to get pretty dusty, and he doesn't want me catching anything while I'm growing up. Other than that, no, there's only a few things here, and I'm not allowed in the woman's bathroom.
No.
You will soon come to learn that is a warning best heeded.
For the two of you, it does seem like it might be worthwhile investigating the storeroom.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing. Oh, sorry. You had.
Surely, if you're related, you may one day inherit the family business. I would assume that your father would at least be showing you around the storeroom eventually.
Oh, no, not me. I'm far too young. I've got 4 brothers and a sister ahead of me.
Keep working. You'll be recognized for it one day.
I might get my own branch somewhere else, but I don't hold out any hope of inheriting this. Plus, it seems like a lot of work.
Does your father let any of your other siblings into the storeroom a lot?
He lets Big Bro and Big Sis do it, but they're also a lot older than us, so I think that's okay.
Yeah. Wouldn't you agree, Kai?
Indeed. I'm not cut out for all of the administration work, so I understand the viewing it as a lot of work.
We're not supposed to go in there till we're 16 and fully grown, because if we do, it's, very bad for development. So, and he starts saying very specific words that are very clearly just him parroting words from other, we'll have a developmental disorder in our lungs that'll cause a buildup of blah blah blah.
I does not understand.
Atane, you understand, and while that is a legitimate concern, it feels like a very weird thing to tell to a child, and especially when it comes to telling them not to go into a storeroom.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I see, he says.
Doesn't get it at all.
Well then, it is our job to make sure everything is going right here. You might not be allowed in the storeroom a whole bunch. We are grown, as he sort of flexes. You wouldn't mind watching us from the doorway while we just had a look around, would you?
He nods his head and moves over and shows your way into the storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, once you actually enter, there is a guard in the corner who was half asleep when you entered, but becomes fully properly awake as you actually enter and search the premises. The majority of it is a large series of crates, each with a variety of different fabrics additional textiles within them, and a few areas where there are more barrels or smaller custom orders of bags of them. A lot of it is very distinctly putting the store in storeroom, as a lot of it seems like it's very destined for long-term storage.
Does the guard not protest or question our entry?
He doesn't protest it as he sees the kid, open the door and lead you in, but he's making sure to keep an eye on you, but isn't like following you. He has a decent line of sight from that area on his slightly elevated section, that he can kind of see what you're doing all over the place.
Sure.
As auditors, we would know what we would be looking for in this storeroom to like determine if something's off, right?
That depends on, well, if it's just auditing, the idea is, well, is there something that's not textiles or another accounted good? But beyond that, the main thing that you're trying to bust on is like rate of transference, which Atane is able to pick up. He goes around and he's able to like figure out that with as the kid was saying, since there's a lot of dust in the area and it ends up leading to a lot of the little shards in the air that are, I won't say unpleasant to breathe, but noticeable to breathe. It's decently dusty. There's a lot of this ends up creating trimmings at the bottom of most of the crates, such that there's a pattern where it like, you can see the outline of where crates used to be, and there are far more crates in here than there would have previously been, which, combined with the fact that a lot of it seems to have been stored for a long time, the parts that are remaining, leads to suggest that a lot of this long-term storage has been moved.
Oh, so there's less crates?
Yeah, there's less crates than there used to be, because you can sort of see a little bit of the outline where dust would pile up along the edge of a crate.
Roughly how much would I be able to gather?
Like 60% of the floor space, at least, that was there is not occupied by crates now.
Got it.
So we're really down on the stock in this long-term storage. He's gonna breathe in deeply in the fucking dusty room, breathe out and say, smells just like my granny's shed. As he turns to the kid in the doorway. Seems like there's not as much in here as there used to be.
Kid just shrugs. I wouldn't know.
He looks over at his partner. Any ideas?
He gives another look or two around. What side of the building is this on?
This is on the far side, so like from that front view, it would be on the like northern direction.
The alley side, though, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Yes,
Is this on the alley
Yes,
side?
this is on the top right area.
And are there doors leading out in
There
the
are not.
direction of the alley? There are not, okay. And I wouldn't know if the alley curved because I didn't go down there.
Right. The alley you were able to look down, it doesn't curve in this direction, at least.
Okay. Are there any doors other than the door leading out in this room?
Given that you kind of just succeed on investigations in this area, one of the things you are able to do is there was a fairly distinct pattern that one of the kids had on their footprint when they were walking around in the sand outside. It was they had like these super fly up boots on, right, that had a very interesting pattern on it, like totally homemade metal spikes, all the stuff, and that there's a instance of that sort of footprint a few times on the ground that ends up leading you to an area where suddenly there's just footsteps that go into a wall and stop. You try to figure out if there's a way to get past it, if there's a wall or a door or something, but you're unable to find it.
Right. Well, this is quite the spacious storage room. Thank you for showing us around.
Can I get you drinks or anything?
Just some water would be fine, thank you.
I will take the strongest thing you've got. As he kind of smiles and then thinks for a second. Actually, just water.
He leads the both of you back out into the courtyard in front of the gentle water spring and goes and gets some different water and brings it over to you, at which point you can sit and chill, and if you want, the kid can leave for a little bit, giving you at least a semblance of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll ask him to. That will be okay for a few minutes if he needs to do some things.
He goes and runs up one of the stairs into the upper area and sort of waves in from the window on the upper floor of that orange building.
Kai waves back bombastically.
He grabs one of his toys and like sort of shows it in the window, and then you don't see from him again.
So,
What do you think?
I don't know, there was a lot of stuff and now there isn't.
That's correct. And there is also tracks leading to a wall that seemingly ends. But more importantly is the stuff missing for now. You don't really just move that much of your stuff out.
Tracks leading to the wall? Like a hidden exit? One of those things from, like, the books where you turn a torch in a dungeon and the wall opens?
I'm not sure if it would be that specific, but the tracks stop at the wall.
Any idea what they're from?
Obviously someone's footprints. So there is traffic going out and into the whatever it goes.
No shit, but do you have any idea who?
Presumably one of the employees.
Did you not hear him say, Lothair say that you saw it was one of the hooligans' footprints?
Oh.
That's a sound bite right there, just oh.
Oh!
I mean, it's a stretch to say, but I'm pretty sure it's the same footprints as some of the kids in the alleyway.
That's odd. For a prestigious organization to be hiring random hoodlums off the street.
Not if they don't have to do it by the books. If it's all under the table.
Ezo would want me to wait, but I want to go have a conversation with them.
I'm not going to stop you, just
Lovely,
remember,
exactly what I wanted to hear.
remember that they're kids.
Of course, of course.
Seeing as Atane does not stop him, Kai busts
Bribe
his way
them
into the
before
room.
leaving them.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I will stay with my water and observe the entry, the entry room area.
Kai makes his way around the corner into the alleyway.
You get a bunch of weird looks from the kids, and after waiting there a moment, one of them just looks up to you. Beat it, old man.
Old man! Huh.
I can see your tusks. You're old enough. You're too old for me.
Maybe. But listen.
Go ahead, hide your tusks if you're so young. Go ahead. And he just wraps his lips around his tusks.
Listen here, little snot. I'm here to ask about something. I've got money. Do you not want it? I can leave.
He just sort of leans forward onto his knee. Oh yeah? Uh-huh.
He crosses his arms. I work for the auditors. I have money.
He puts up one of his hands. Unfortunately, I don't go that way. If you went 2 blocks down, you might be able to find someone who's more hair steed.
He kind of narrows his eyes. I know it was one of your footprints in there. Now, you can either talk to me, get some money, or we can take it up with investigations.
Your bullshit scent sort of starts to go off, and while the kids up front end up still just kind of giving you a Josh and Tom, one of them off on the side is a little more quiet and reserved, and not just in the detached kind of way. You end up like seeing as a single like little bit of sweat goes down his side, which is especially abnormal given how not quite frigid, but how chill it is. There's no reason why him just sort of waiting around should be sweating.
He kind of eyes over. Your friend seems nervous.
Yeah, full stop.
Yeah, he's just
sorry.
waiting for back and forth.
What's the matter to you?
A hell of a lot. What's it worth to you?
I think it might be worth a fight.
You said it yourself. I've got my tusks in. You see how big I am. You see the armor I'm wearing. Do you really want that?
One of the kids ends up being an actual little shit and being like, yeah, I recognize the armor you have, and I know that means you got a reputation, and I know that means that you're, a lot of shit if you start another fight. So what are you gonna do, fight back?
If you know my reputation, then you know I will. As he kind of takes a couple steps forward and like puffs his chest up really close to him, like looking directly down at him.
At that, the kids stop sort of calling your bluff, and one of them actually takes a step back, and another one, the kid who was previously sweating, just kind of steps forward and just, that's enough, and just like invites you over into one of the side rooms where like there's not the other hoodlums.
Wonderful. As he kind of relaxes his posture, cools down a little bit. And follows.
Yeah, you enter the side room. So you see, here's the thing, right? I get it. You don't need to be roughing them up. They don't know anything about it. And he gestures you to come a little closer as he reaches into his pocket.
He kind of leans forward.
And out of his pocket, you see just for a moment a little bit of a gem before he, with that gem, punches you straight in the gut, and you have about 2 seconds before you pass out as electricity passes through all of your armor and you're on the ground.
Stir. As he gets knocked over.
Oh no.
All right, we're back to the inside.
Damn. What a good leader I am.
What a good leader. All right, Hiroue. Hazel.
Yes.
It's y'all seeing you're coming to a conclusion about the books being legitimate. But, of course, suspiciously incomplete.
Look, if you don't want to fully tell us, everything that's going on here, because, you keep on, feels like you're dodging some of these questions. I can understand why you might. We can use other means to make sure you're a little bit more giving with information. Means of the magical variety.
I feel like I've been nothing but forthright, but please.
Alright. I'm deciding which spell to use. I'm gonna go ahead and cast. If in casting Detect Thoughts, does the other person know that you cast Detect, that they're probing into your mind?
Let me take a look specifically.
Gotcha. Or I guess like if there's a way for me to
I would believe
conceal...
that the person would not be able to know that you're peering into their minds, but anyone who's able to cast magic when you see a spell being cast is able to know what kind of spell it is, especially after it's been cast, right? If it's like in the middle of combat where somebody's actively casting, you're able to say, okay, that's divination. But if you're just doing it out in the open, like, he's going to be able to see, okay, that's detect thoughts, and know that you're probably not casting detect thoughts on your teammate out of the blue.
I don't know, I might
What
be.
it's
Maybe
worth
we're
with
just...
detect thoughts specifically. When you cast it, you can get a little bit of their surface slots without triggering a save or without them knowing. If you peer deeper, there's a save, and if they don't succeed it, if they don't fail it, you don't get to peer deeper, but regardless, they will know that you did it. If you ever
Gotcha.
try to peer deeper, they automatically know. It's part of the spell.
Gotcha.
Right,
Alright,
I'm
I guess...
talking about the casting of it specifically. Yeah, but that is also true.
That's fair. I guess I'm not being super secretive about wanting to use a spell, though, so that's fair.
Yeah, and, I mean, you asked and I said, please, cast your spell.
It's just so debonair, I can't. Taser's going to go ahead and cast Detect Thoughts. Hiroue, perhaps while I'm focused on this, you would like to ask the questions for a little bit.
Right, yes. So, you said that you had ventures in Evil. I know that there was recently a ceasefire agreed upon by the Empire and the Kingdoms alike.
that is imminent. That is
Okay.
that is shortly. There's talks about peace, but that's super fringe, and there's definitely not.
Okay.
The ceasefire happens canonically in about like 3 weeks.
Okay. So, I know there have been talks of something shoring up the divide between the kingdoms and the Empire, but I admit I am surprised to know that you have been shipping material to Evil. Do you have a family in the region or something of the sort?
No.
Sorry, no?
No.
Oh, okay.
You do
I
not
don't know
have
that-
family in the region.
Okay.
For context, Evil is part of the Perun Empire, which is the nation that the kingdoms are at war with.
So you'd think I would know that, but I don't know the geopolitical nature of this continent. and
You
so I-
would.
Right, yeah.
No, I know the character word, but I mean, me looking at a map, I was like,
Right,
Right.
I'd sent you a line on it. The reason you're not literally sending it to Evil, you're sending it near Evil to near where the front lines are to help supply soldiers with, proper clothing.
yes, that's what I say because it makes sense. And my first, let's say surface thoughts are definitely, I would say, the war as a thing. But also, if you're just looking at my surface thoughts, you're getting a little bit of, this is very annoying, why are they here, this is taking such a long time.
The
Just
classics.
he's trying very politely to the Guild of Merchants, of course you can come in. Well, please, let's clear this up. But also in the back of his head, we're not even open right now.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Hazo just at getting this from the TikTok is just gonna smirk just a little bit and then hide it back.
I think it's very important to note, even though that's what he's thinking, his expression is very welcoming and warm. He's been nothing but, but he's thinking it for sure.
Got you. He's gonna go ahead and, because the spell being cast is obvious, Taser's just going to keep probing deeper for as long as he can.
Okay. I think if you're probing deeper, that's a save, I think.
Got you.
I mean, if you
DM.
consented, you can choose not to if you want. And we can also just narratively say either way. First of all, are you actually trying to resist it?
Well, I will, because that's very intrusive.
Okay.
It's a little rude.
I'll just say, just roll a D, just for that D20 since we don't have numbers, Swabby.
Windara be the one to roll the d20?
Okay, fair enough. I'll roll a d20. That is how saves work. Yeah, okay, you get a little more information.
I've got a bit of a migraine. It seems.
Gotcha.
What more would you get? Probing deeper. Are you
I
looking...
would you mind if I took over a little bit of that then?
If you don't mind, I'd really
Sure.
appreciate it, actually.
The idea that what he's saying is true. He definitely is sending supplies to the soldiers and giving them new clothes and stuff. But there's a little bit more to it than that he's actively trying to hide, since he knows that you're kind of detect thoughtsing a little bit.
Gotcha.
And that he's trying to make sure that he's actively having to focus on thinking about sending clothes rather than it just being part of the mind right now.
Gotcha.
A specific text of the spell Detect Thoughts is
That you know.
you get
yeah.
insight and something that looms large in its mind, like something that it's been thinking about a lot recently.
This damn inspection.
Damn
It's very much
inspection.
that. When are they going to leave? How long is it going to take?
Yeah.
What are they looking into here? What are the other two doing?
I'll probably say the current worry is I can't wait to not have to deal with this shit anymore.
That sounds very accurate. That sounds 100% accurate.
More like, guild sucks. Why do they have to do this? I can't wait to not have to deal with this.
Gotcha.
Which you can choose to interpret in a few different ways.
Yeah. You seem a little bit tense. Does it really take that much mental energy to think about sending clothes somewhere?
Well, I suppose there's little purpose in hiding my frustration given the spell you've chosen to cast. I was
Of course.
enjoying an evening with my family when you arrived, and I would like very much so to return to that.
I understand the frustration, but we're a little bit frustrated too. Getting, tossed around with all these rumors and such, getting worried about what's going on here. Believe me, it's not pleasant to have to do this at night, But, what is it all that you were sending over there? Well, obviously you're thinking very hard about clothes, but is that really it?
Well, no, not just clothes, also raw materials to assist with their efforts.
And, efforts in what are you supporting? I know it seems obvious, but, indulge me.
Now,
The-
I, Ara, don't know.
The war effort, of course. The city is built off of this city's current bones are built off the blood of the war. It's, the city dedicates itself to furthering the glory of the Savage Kingdoms in their effort of defense.
And that's what I say.
He does it in a way that sounds very patriotic, or perhaps, if you choose to be that way, more nationalistic. A true believer in the idea of the Savage Kingdoms is a big family, and each member must do its part, sort of speech.
And I have 5 children of my own, if you didn't get earlier. Where's my wife? I don't know.
I showed him somewhere.
Somewhere around here.
He's away
Family
with
business.
the yoga trainer or something.
Oh no! No!
Why do you think you have 6 kids?
Oh
As
no!
handsome and smooth as I am,
yeah,
oh no.
Probably out making a trade deal somewhere. Like, one of the things is that part of the reason why you have a lot of family members is because historically a lot of your family has had a lot of family members, and it allows you to delegate tasks up in the family to be able to send people to different things to trade out deals with proper authority.
Yeah, absolutely.
You picked your wife because she's very good at doing the mercantile business with you, in addition to a few
I'll
other
say-
things.
Because you are detect thoughtsing, you think just for a
Detect
moment-
thoughts is no longer active. It ends
Oh.
once the intelligence check once he
The wisdom save.
succeeded. Sorry, once he I thought it was an int save.
No, it's when you
Uh,
trigger the
wisdom.
wisdom save.
Okay. Okay, the one I'm looking at literally says int, but either way, once you actually yeah, it has ended.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say that I'm thinking very lovingly about my wife for some reason.
Sure, that's some of the last thoughts you get out of it before it closes up.
Like, my
Gotcha.
wife.
my wife.
It's
What?
the int check to end it. Okay, excuse me. It would not normally, but it probably ends sometime around here.
Gotcha.
We'll just clean that up now anyway.
I have more spell slots, probably.
You do?
Yeah.
I will
I'll-
kind of cut you off, actually.
Yeah,
if
no
I'm
problem.
permitted to do so in character.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Well, you've poured through my notes and you've poured through my mind. Is there anything else that I can help you with tonight, or will I be returning to my family before the moon is on the other side of the horizon?
Look, I understand that this is very frustrating. Let me talk to my associates and we'll regroup and maybe ask one or two more questions. Again, I appreciate your time, and we'll be out of your hair hopefully quickly, as long as everything can be fully wrapped up.
Very well. And I would like to escort you out of my little office here, back into the main, I think this is a courtyard kind of area.
So, Atane, as
Yes.
they re-enter the courtyard, it's probably been about they were probably in that office about 20 minutes. Kai's been gone for about 11 or 12, and it is at the point where you are starting to get worried about it.
Yeah, I would probably say after 10, I would probably look to are there clocks in the setting or some sort of way to tell the time?
You intrinsically have the sharp mind, and you know what time it is. You know that it has
Okay,
been.
so that works.
Yeah.
It has been exactly 10 minutes.
I am the clock.
1 second has passed.
Yeah, so at about when they step out, I glance over at I keep forgetting the names.
His own
Testo.
hero.
How'd I forget my own name? Saluna?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look over at Juan.
Huh?
You look
Oh,
over.
I was
at-
just you looked over at us. Yeah.
Yeah, just to like kind of gauge like where it's going next.
Taser kind of tries to give like a slight bit of like in his expression like a do you have anything, we need a little bit of help here, and just but walks up and just kind of like
I kind of just like nudge my head towards the exit.
Nacho. Did somebody
Oh.
get lost along the way?
He
Yeah.
just stepped out for some fresh air.
My son is not here, right? I sent him away with my son and now he is missing.
That is
And now
correct.
he's gone. And the other
Lord.
band is also gone.
Yeah, upon noticing that neither your son nor Kai are here, you try socially to keep them within the courtyard.
Did
Kai
they give you
stepped
their
out
names
for
when
a
they
breath
arrived?
of
I'm sorry,
air.
I don't remember.
Your son is in his room with his toy.
Ah. Well, I apologize for leaving you unattended to for so long. He's usually more responsible with guests.
It's all right.
Hope that you were not bored in his absence.
No.
Well, I cannot say the same for your compatriots here.
Did you find anything that would indicate the indiscrepancies that we had heard about?
No, I think we're all set here.
So,
Okay.
Kai,
Mm-hmm.
it's back to you. You've been passed out for a few minutes. You're starting to come to your senses. You feel as your armor has been taken off from you, and you're currently tied down to a stone table with a little bit of chain. You're starting to slowly, wake up, and you're hearing a little bit of fleeting conversation, something to the likes of, "We're not killing him unless the boss says so. Best is probably to wipe his mind," or something like that. You're starting to fully properly awake when one of them goes over and begins to notice that you are, in fact, actually awake. You end up John Wicking the shit out of it a little bit. Feel free to describe how you do that.
His eyes like slowly open. He realizes where he is, that he's been taken somewhere. He like immediately all muscles flex, like pushes on the chains, keeping him like all synchronized, like trying to break through the chains.
The chains don't break, but the table you're tied to does, as the stone
Uh-oh.
shatters along one of its seams. And now you have essentially a stone mace on a chain, or a stone flail, I guess, that you
He
kick the
kinda
shit out of them with.
Yeah, he kind of stands up from the table, cracks his neck in one way, cracks his neck on the other way. You gonna run, or you gonna make this interesting? As he kind of like picks up the chain and rolls his shoulders.
The one of them is the hooligan who specifically had tased you previously, and the other one is one of the guards who was watching over within that room, the dusty room, and they try to go in to tase you, but you're smarter about it now that this time you're prepared, and you're able to knock the crystal out of their hands, and in doing so, as it falls to the floor, it shatters and becomes the same sort of dusty particles that you saw in that room.
He kind of chuckles a little bit. Let's go, as he sort of brings the flail around into the chest of one of the guards, and then picks up a stray like end of chain and like charges at the hooligan who tased him, and like uses the chain to like pulls it around his body and is like squeezing it to push his arms into his chest to like kind of asphyxiate him a little bit until he passes out. Probably breaking one of his arms in the process.
He tries like tapping on your shoulder a little bit with as little as he can, like, come on bro, stop. But you don't relent, and you have a little bit of time in this room. It's got a entrance that's a little obvious. That's a way that you could try getting back through, where there's a ladder that leads up to a trapdoor that seems like the way that you got dragged in through. But more importantly, on the other side, there's a crate with a little bit of the textiles, and within it are a few different, some of the textiles are sort of just haphazardly tossed aside, which would be very abnormal for something of their quality. And within it is more of those gemstones.
He's gonna grab a handful of the gemstones, wrap them in one of the textiles that's been thrown aside, put it like so his armor's off, but he's still clothed, right?
Yes.
He's gonna like put it in one of his pockets, lift up the hooligan onto his shoulder, and start making his way out of the area.
You are also able to see is here there's quite obviously one of the there's a stairway that leads up into an open wall with a lever on this side of the wall.
He goes ahead and ratchets it, pulls the lever very frustratedly. He's not in a good mood.
Atane, you're able to hear that, as in the room that was the previous storeroom, you're able to hear as the wall begins to be lifted upwards.
At this point, we're like about to like leave, right?
Yeah. And you hear this strange
and
creaking coming from the storeroom.
Yeah, and hearing this, I turn around and say, actually, there is just one question left. Do you mind if we view the storeroom just for a minute?
were you not there earlier? I thought you were given a tour of this place.
We
Well,
were. Just a glance.
also as the leader of this little troop, anything that seems to be of interest to my colleagues would be of interest to me.
Well, suppose I have no reason to deny your request.
Thank you. We'll be out of your hair in no time, I'm sure.
Please. And he is actually going to stay in the courtyard and let you go that way, if you'd like.
Or are you not coming with us?
No, far too dusty for me. I prefer not to go in there unless I absolutely need to. It gives me fits of coughing, you see.
Oh, that would just be awful. Hiroue, perhaps it would be good if you stay with our esteemed gentleman here while we go back and check. We just, don't want to make our presence too unfelt.
And
I'll
he
do as you say.
smiles and tips his head in a little nod towards you. And I don't know if there's anywhere to sit here, but I'd like to think next to this little spring water, there's a little bench that you can sit at.
The rugs are specifically sitting rugs.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Sit on the rug and invite Hiroue to sit with him and look into the water.
Hiroue takes the invitation. He pulls out his pipe briefly and kind of tilts his head inquisitively toward it and toward Mr. Arasana. Basically asking if it is acceptable.
It seems totally acceptable to him.
Okay. And he holds... Oh, sorry.
He just kind of nods again.
With that, he packs the bowl of tobacco and holds a finger to it as he casts prestidigitation to light it.
It lights and leaves the area, as it does. Alright, how do you react to that?
Sorry, so it's just me and Hiroue here. The rest have started wandering down towards the storage room.
Yep, currently, we'll play that out for just a second.
Yeah.
Teizo, wrong person. Teizo and Atone enter, and you're able to see as Kai is slightly bloodied.
Hold on. As we're walking to the storage, Atane starts. Any luck in there with him?
Not too much. We know something is up, but
Well,
the
you're
exact
right about that.
What'd you find?
Well, besides the fact that Kai's been gone for over 10 minutes, where to start? The storage room had about, I'd say, 60% of its words.
God, that's a mood.
Contents.
60% of its contents moved out. You could see the outlines in the dust. The room is very dusty, by the way. Doesn't make sense for a storage room. What else? Oh yes, the false wall that probably just opened. Come on.
Speaking of, right as they reach to open the door, Kai is going to open the door in front of them.
Hold on. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You do end up... It's pretty much the same thing, but rather than opening the door, the storeroom's decently sized. It's more so as you turn a corner within the storeroom itself, you almost bump into him, seeing him as he has blood on him. And it seems like it's not his blood, so
He's carrying a one of the hoodlums, I think Golden would notice, or Akane would notice, over his shoulder. Hey, as he just walks around them.
Not walk around us yet. Please tell me he's alive.
He's fine.
If I could.
Is everyone else?
Hold on, give it. Arson?
Sorry, I didn't want
Ara?
to interrupt you talking. I just like to, as we're sitting together, say, this pipe must be drying your throat. Could I offer you something to drink? Just the water, perhaps? Would be
No,
quite
thank you.
improprietous of me, the host.
I'm quite fine. I made sure to take care of myself before embarking on this journey, and anything else of the sort would be a distraction.
Please, you impugn my my honor. Even something as simple as a water, I'd hate not to offer.
Hiroue is considering for a brief moment, and sorry, I had to yawn. He accepts the offer, although he keeps the conversation going before actually drinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
only gone for a brief moment, and he returns with a glass of water himself as well. So you're just kind of sitting, making, brief, comfort conversation.
Just to put timelines in perspective, you probably start drinking about a minute after they leave, and they finally meet up with Kai probably about 2 minutes after investigating the storeroom. They end up bumping into Kai somewhere in there.
Yeah, so after a bit of conversation, Hiroue forgets that he is tense about the whole situation and takes a sip of the water because his throat is actually a little bit dry and irritated.
It is nice water.
It's cold. You're smoking, and Saluna is very easy to talk to. He's got a smooth voice, and it's kind of fun to listen to.
That shit's some evil water. I don't trust that.
It's evil.
It's evil.
So
water.
true. It's actually rather delicious water. It ends up soothing your throat and puts you pretty, I won't say at ease. It's not like it's boozing you up or anything, but you're not having to worry too much about the situation right now. Now that you've got a much better thought, you can actually focus on just having the conversation.
Thank you. I had underestimated how parched I had been. It's a bit easy to lose track of oneself when on the job.
And you seem quite dedicated to the task at hand. I respect
Of course.
I respect your ardor.
Thank you, and I hold a great deal of respect for someone who has run such a business, such a staple of our city.
Well, you honor me with your kind words.
So, speaking of kind words, I doubt that Kai has any right now.
What happened? Are you all right?
I will talk to you about this later, as he is trying to push past you.
No. Kai, stop. We're giving him our report now, because this isn't done yet.
No, it sure as hell isn't done.
We can walk and talk, but don't throw fists just yet. We don't want to lose our opportunity to be able to indict on this.
Oh, don't worry. I don't need to throw
thrown
fists. I have
fists.
evidence. Sorry, I did not mean to talk over you.
He's already thrown fists. That's why we need to stop here and discuss.
Fine. If he's gonna let you pass me, he's going to take out the. If it's going to let me pass. Sorry, whatever fucking order.
This
of
is
word
what
makes
Kai says
sense
in
there.
character, messes up.
Yeah. Whatever. As he sort of takes it out of his pocket and opens up the textile with a bunch of things. This shitter zapped me with this, knocked me out, brought me down. This is what they're smuggling.
Yeah, of note, it's not literally the gem that he hit you with, because that one, broke,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He's got like a fistful of them, and he's got a large hand, so like it's a good number of them in this textile that he then folds up and puts back into his pocket. Will you let me pass now, so I can give that fucker a piece of my mind?
Can you
Not,
hand it to me
not until I give. Fuck, what's his name, dude? I keep forgetting. Not until I give Tezo my report. So, we went into the storage room. The little one escorted us in. It was very stuffy, very dusty, almost thicker than normal. There was one guard. He was asleep and then briefly woke up. Like I said, 60% of the freight was moved out. There was a false door, and there was a symbol on it that matched the boot of. And he sort of looks up and down the person that Kai is carrying that matches his boot. And about 10 minutes ago, Kai went to go confront them, and here we are.
Minutes? I was out for that long. Oh.
And they attacked you and put you in those chains, I'm guessing?
No, he didn't attack me. He sucker punched me. If he attacked me, he would have fallen quickly, like he did.
Fair. Can I see those?
You can see them in a second. I want to see the look on the shitter's face.
If I may, at this point, I would like to stand up. I don't know if this is a sandy courtyard or not, but I just kind of dust my legs off. And I look to Hiroue and just kind of move over here and say, well, as much as I have enjoyed your visit, I think it's about time you wrap things up here. I am growing quite tired, you see.
Hiroue is able
The others should be back
to
soon.
particularly notice that as he says that line, there's a few more of the guards who show up to the rim of the top of the buildings at this courtyard with crossbows ready to pointing down at the courtyard, particularly towards the storage room. There's about 14 different guards, each with a loaded heavy crossbow.
I have enjoyed our conversations on this evening, but consider it fate or luck. I know that's something that you diviners take into quite a high amount of consideration. That you are here with me and not there with them.
I'd like to imagine that this is partially in canon. Hiroue is slightly in shock.
This is that, then why go to the trouble of announcing it to me? Why not? No. Hiroue is going to cast Misty Step and basically get right here and start booking it as
You are
best he
not
can.
going to have Misty Step. I'm so sorry to say it.
Oh shit.
Oh!
When Hiroue does the motions to actually, cast Misty Step, and he notices that. You know what? How would you describe the magic that Hiroue does anyway? What does it look like?
He kind of brings one of his hands up to snap the fingers as some auroral light manifests around the hand, and then the light fizzles out.
So normally there were. Sorry, I just needed to get an establishment of what it normally looks like. Not trying to retcon this a third time, but we have to.
Yeah.
That as you begin to pull what would be the auroral energy, you see as none of it forms, and you snap, and nothing happens.
I'd also like to imagine after he does that, there are now 14 crossbow bolts in the ground next to him. Now, I have taken measures to mollify the situation, but please don't make this worse for you than it must be.
I see then. What would you have me do?
Well, very simply. I am a very busy man, and I prefer my business to be done without trespass. If you and your friends had left without further investigation, then this could have been quite an easy evening for you, but instead I've had to take more drastic measures. What I would like you to do is take this missive to your Merchant's Guild. Arasana is a name not to be meddled with. Please, and he steps closer, do not pursue me, and he steps closer again. Forget me, if you can. And take this as a moment to learn.
The others?
Speaking of, let's switch to the other scene for a moment.
Teizo is just going to be like, if they're willing to attack you, then we should get going back to check on Hiroue and just...
It was some dumbass kid. He's not stupid enough to kill 4 auditors in his own home. I'm that stupid. He isn't.
Regardless, let's get heading back. If you're going to hold on to those, make sure they do not break. It is important evidence.
Of course. I'm
All right.
a gentleman. As he kind of hands a couple over to him.
Takes him. Teizo begins kind of like quickly walking back, and it's just like, what do you think to do this? Okay. Tell me if this is like too...
Well,
Because I don't want to act...
Hold on.
Yeah?
I heard the lever get pulled. Do I hear anything else?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
Gotcha. If this is not too metagamey, because I don't want to do that, but if it seems like that, feel free to tell me no. Teizo is going to kind of like prep a hold person for when he sees...
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay, got you. So as soon as he sees Mr. Arasana, he's going to do a hold person, just so that it's like, hey, we got the evidence kind of stuff. All right. And he's going to quickly rush back with the other two.
Yeah, Kai has been trying to push past you for the entire duration of the conversation. If you are no longer resisting him, he is moving past you. Like...
Teizo will keep up as much as possible.
So,
Kai very agitatedly basically kicks the door from the storeroom open.
how close are Tane and Teizo at that point?
I would say I'm following up the rear.
Alright. And Teizo, where are you in this situation?
Trying to be, like, basically right behind Kai. Like, neck and neck, if not right behind.
Kai bursts through the door and is going forward. Teizo, you also follow up very shortly behind him. Atane, you're a little bit farther back. As you make your way, Teizo, you're able to barely see the first little bit of Mr. Arasana. And that's pretty much at the point when Hiroue asks, what's going to happen with his team.
Hold person. Go hold person.
Go gadget, hold person.
Go gadget hold person.
What is your... I mean, do you have a save DC, or am I just rolling a d20?
You don't have to, do you?
Well, I was gonna get to that a little bit later.
Oh!
Okay, sorry, I spoiled your fun. Go ahead and pretend you rolled.
Yeah. Cast your spell, little wizard.
I cast my freaking spell. It casts. It's not on my character sheet.
Yeah, it casts. Ooh, and you cast it in such a way that it should be sufficient to restrain him as he turns around and says a quick word before, go ahead. What do you say as he bursted out?
What does who say to what?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
What do you, Mr. Arasana, say to the two people who just burst forward while you have, all these people ready to fucking shoot them?
Oh yeah, Kai screams "Ding dong, motherfucker!" as he bursts in.
Yeah, okay.
I would assume Kai might get obliterated on the spot, but we'll see.
We'll
No,
see.
that sounds about right. Hiroue asks, but what about my friends? The whole person doesn't happen. And you see he holds up his left hand and clenches his fist as 14 crossbow bolts into Kai's chest.
And Kai is obliterated on the spot. He is super fucking dead, as is the hooligan who he was carrying. Both of them get impaled viciously and are pinned to this crate.
Tezo is going to just expression drops. He's going to kind of put his hand out to have Atane like stop, and Tezo's going to like raise his other hand up and just kind of like look like surrender a little bit.
I am very sorry to say this, but my message only needs one messenger. The rest of you, as entertaining as your visit has been, are not a part of this.
After the only one messenger, a few of the shots go into Tezo, but he is not quite dead, as the rest of that continues onwards. As Tezo is currently dying. Go ahead
Tezo is
and
going
continue.
to... Oh, sorry. You can continue.
I've got a lot of business to attend to, and this much is true, but none that needs your attention. Now, Hiroue, as I've asked very politely, could you please tell your guild to leave me alone? If they hear my name, not to pursue it.
Yes. Why me?
You're a diviner, aren't you? Fate. Fortune. You were here, and they were not.
Hiroue clutches the missive and starts leaving wordlessly as the next wave of bolts.
I don't think you're going to get off that easy.
So hold on. So as that final wave goes in, he ends up dropping both his life as well as what he was carrying, which includes a large variety of those gems, of which one of them falls and shatters, causing a bit of a chain reaction, causing multiple of them nearby. It doesn't create an explosion like a boom, but an explosion of silent arcane energy that just ripples through the rooms and ends up heavily wounding Atane enough that you're at least able enough to be dragged out.
Oh. I want to cast invisibility on him.
You are conscious enough, at least while you're being dragged out, to be continuing to speak.
Dragged out by
some of the guards, past the corpses of your two teammates.
Damn, they're already on us, huh? I mean, what spells do I have? I'm a wizard after all.
You have any of the spells up to your being a wizard of 7th level. Not up to 7th level spells, but you're a 7th level wizard. So I think that's a 4th level spell, right?
Yeah.
A 4th level. Okay. Damn. Now I gotta try and get my ass out of this somehow.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Polymorph yourself into a rat.
Would you still love me, polymorph?
If I was a worm. True.
Is Hiroue mostly just in shock at this situation?
No. He is, but he's also waiting for the next thing that Arasana says. Since he said you're not getting off that easily.
Would I have a good bearing on the outside landscape?
Decently well enough.
Okay. I would like to attempt to dimension door myself out as far away as possible without putting myself into a solid surface.
So, Mr. Arasana, what do you think about that? Mr. Well-prepared mafia man?
I mean, I feel like I'm comfortable enough with my knowledge of spells, although I don't really talk about it as much as these people seem to do. No, I don't think we'll be doing that.
As
and I'd like-
Hiroue sees the gesture for the counterspell start to go out, he himself is going to mirror that as as a puff of smoke from his pipe kind of just dissipates the magic from Arasana's counterspell as he starts running.
Now,
Oh, right. You didn't explain to them why his magic didn't happen.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We're gonna rewind
damn.
just a touch while you're
Fuck,
having the
I thought
monologue
you were
before.
counterspelling.
Yeah, no.
No,
During the monologue, he was counterspelling just now, but he wasn't counterspelling earlier. Like during the monologue just before what happened to my friends. Go ahead and taunt him
Yeah.
about the fact that his magic's not working.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. You are very much a gracious guest, and I am very much a gracious host. So I'd like to thank you for sharing with me this refreshing bit of water. Although in your case, it wasn't only water. You should really be more careful about what you take from people you're investigating. I was very surprised, in fact, by your willingness. Now, I don't know if this has a specific term in this setting, but you have been dosed with Mage Killer poison and you are unable to cast spells.
Oh shit. In character, Hiroue is looking down with horror at the at what he just drank, and
It's expensive, of course, but for something like this, I thought it worth the expenditure. And then we bounce back to me counterspelling your dimension door. I don't know what your dimension door looks like, but I'd like to imagine that his counterspell is him reaching over and making a plucking motion, and kind of sweeping away whatever the visual aspect of your magic would be as it fails you.
Oh. Is it above fourth, or are we not rolling for that?
It happens. It's thematic. It happens.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, they are dragging him away, but I don't think I need him, and he's been less than compliant. I feel rude saying this. I'd like to signal another volley of bolts.
Feel rude. No, you gotta embody the villain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I raise my left hand again, and then very slowly clench my fist, as another rain of bolt finds purchase in Atane's body.
As Arasana is focusing on that, Hiroue is going to actually chuck the glass and what's left of the water at Arasana's face as he tries to escape.
It shatters on his face and leaves a quite heavy gash. He's bleeding from almost the entire left side of his face as he just barely turns around as he hears the action of it in a quite unfortunate circumstance. One of his eyes is now severely wounded and he just has a bunch of bleeding going on in that part, and all pretenses of civility have been dropped, and you are allowed to be as fucking rude as you want are as the volley goes into Atane.
Oh,
And it is just you, your guards, Hiroue, and a lot of glass in your face.
And
He's
Hiroue
going
is fucking booking it right now already.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get very far. I'd like to imagine that I do have guards posted at the entrance to my...
Those guards
little
are, in fact, still there and are able to easily keep Hiroue from moving past them.
Yeah, so I just kind of slowly walk behind you and say, you little rats. You would have gotten out of this unscathed if you had been a little bit more polite. Look at this. Look at this mess that you've made. Well, I'm a man of my word. I need one messenger, and you are him. But you're not getting out of it unscathed. I'd like to return to you a favor, and I will gesture to one of the guards to have them hand me their sword if they're carrying one. And just very quickly with the pommel, I'd like to hit him in his solar plexus. And as you are fading from consciousness, if I... Oop. Yeah. As you are fading from consciousness, I have a bit of a send-off for you. Perhaps a better diviner would have known your fortune for today was woe, but I suppose you'll have time to practice this little skill, won't you? And perhaps you'll remember the name Arasana, and that you should seek your fortunes elsewhere the next time you get curious! And I think that is the last thing that you hear.
Does
Before you-
Hiroue have any tiny retorts that he's able to get like a 1 or 2 word thing out before he passes out?
Hiroue just got the wind fucking knocked out of him. I don't think he can actually muster
I mean,
words.
it could just be
physically.
like, bitch, or, you know, that sort of idea, right?
Narrative. Go for it. Say something if you want.
He's just going to stare daggers at him and spit blood on the floor, and then fade out.
Hmm.
Arasan is now the only PC on the screen. You are now additionally pissed because now your fancy rug has blood on it. You tried to make sure that when you shot all the other people, it stayed away from the fine textile work, but now he had the misfortune of bleeding all over your rug in a quite unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick him in the head.
Ouch. Anyway, now
Based.
he's really knocked out. Hiroue ends up going through quite a bit of turmoil, and you end up waking up. What you discover to be about 3 days later. It's some combination of both the tremendous amount of violence of the concussion as well as a little bit of sleeping magic to keep you asleep. By the time you awake and make your reports, the family is nowhere to be seen and their caravans are far gone. The bodies were not found at the compound. It is unknown if they were taken along with them or perhaps just disposed of in some manner, but you are unable to find any remnants of your team. How does BBQ handle this important moment of his backstory?
Hiroue is one kind of terrified at the fact that 3 days fucking passed without his knowledge. Terrified of the fact that he's alone here now, wondering what the fuck was actually done to him. He's like checking himself over to make sure what happened. Glad to be alive, but also mostly terrified at the feeling of his magic not working in the first place. Like, that is the sensation that sticks out to him most. After making sure, so what damages has he incurred physically and mentally as he takes stock of himself?
Mentally is entirely up to you. Physically is nothing
Yeah.
that a quick and easy trip to a local cleric and just a little bit of money, which they were at least gracious enough not to rob you at the same time. And a
How thoughtful.
very cheap healing and just back into some degree of physical shape. The concussive, I guess, hangover, for lack of a better term, right now, persists for a little while, and you are able to make your report as you feel is your duty given the situation. Now, how you choose to report it is up to you. What are the important details that you choose to speak about to your superiors?
The fact that the rest of the team was eliminated and the Arasanas saw fit to leave a message, as it were. And the fact that even through the attempt to fight back, the force was overwhelming because of yeah. I imagine some of it's a little bit fuzzy for him because concussion.
Right. It's important enough trauma to be in proper memory.
Mhm.
You got it.
Yeah, he is Yeah.
You get sympathies from one of the two people you're reporting to, and a minor amount of derision for the other for like it's not so much derision at you as much as part of it is that he blames you for drinking the drink, but he mostly blames Tezo for being foolish enough to let the team be that split up. That, like, you knew it was dangerous and you did that. That was his fault. And trying to be very cold about it, just saying, like, you'll have a new mentor, you'll learn better, and just ultimately dismissing you so that they can discuss what to actually do about the situation, which ultimately does piss you off a little, but is in keeping with what the guild tends to do in trying to assess first, let emotions handle themselves later. What is the most important moment of the coming few days for you? What's the moment that really seals the deal on this being one of the most important parts of your backstory? How do you deal with internalizing this?
I'm trying to think of this. Probably a good deal of like not even wanting to actually step outside, even because of like genuine fears that Arasana has agents left behind to take him out if he steps even slightly out of line. Also being very leery of anything that anyone offers him directly.
Very true. Eventually, those... Sorry,
Yeah,
keep
like
going.
even like a nurse or a cleric or something like that, he would be leery of being offered water.
Eventually, with this well-warranted paranoia continuing to fester, those days turn to weeks, those weeks to months, and eventually months to years. And at least right now, there's been no evidence of Arasana moving in on you or attempting to take you out. You eventually managed to rebound a bit in your studies, starting to begin to be able to focus on it again, but especially now that that persistent feeling of having lost your magic is ever more present, now that the spell plague has come around and it is ever more difficult to conjure magic for longer periods of time, it really starts to ingrain you just how much of a struggle it's going to be. Any closing comments you'd like to have?
I can imagine that, like, the moment of it happening the first time and feeling like I can imagine he would be brought back to that night, like literally the first time his spells fail because of this spell plague. Like he would be frantically wondering if he'd fucked up and taken something from someone else or what.
And with that, we now know the most important moment before the campaign of our character Hiroue. Everybody clap for a happy ending.
Well,
Happy. I don't know.
how about that?
Well, I'm happy I got away. It was great.
It's
You?
well, yeah, you're
about you
permanently
guys?
wounded. Who knows?
OMG! It was the beginning segment of a game with a predetermined boss fight.
So true. You thought you could fight me at level 3? I'm a level 16 boss. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? You're not allowed
And
to
then some
fight me
fucking
until Act 6.
speedrunner does it.
You're not allowed to fight me till Act 6. The
A predetermined
secret
boss
here's
fight in Act.
Right.
Sorry, a predetermined boss fight in Act 1, A speedrunner.
Who would win? Here's the real tech. The speedrunners beat it because technically he has a faster death animation than you, so you gather up all the crystals and you drop them next to him. It kills both of you, but because the game doesn't check for updates anymore after he's dead, since you're not supposed to be able to kill him in Act 1, he dies before you do, and so it triggers the end of game sequence, since you never actually got to the point where it did the end game check. That's the secret.
Rest in peace.
All right, before we close out the stream, what sort of things do y'all want to talk about and actually go through and give a bit of comments and a bit of concerns and a bit of just talk about how you felt about each other, about trying out these new characters, about how our newcomer this tryout went, and all that sort of jazz. Now's your time to discuss.
That was
Versus
fucking
everyone else,
wonderful.
but I'm built different.
That was so fun. I love
No
that. I love
counterplay
playing Kai.
SMH.
What was that
What
going?
did you say, Golden?
No counterplay SMH.
I'm so sad that I killed everybody. I will say, I love
You
when
did-
have these maps arranged. They're so cute.
Ding dong, motherfucker.
Also, compliments. You did great as the villain. It was
Oh my
you were
God.
amazing.
Oh,
So
100%.
good.
I felt
Now-
kind of bad because there were secrets to discover, but I just nobody got to them.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I didn't want to start digging through your desk or behind the wall for the stuff.
You'd find a pen, basically.
Okay.
So, do you want to go more into detail about it than that? Or do you want to leave it a mystery? Or
I kind of like the fact that this person might be found in the future, and it's just that nagging question in the back of Hiroue's mind forever, essentially, for years on end.
Yeah.
Why? What was so important that it was worth the lives of 3 of my comrades? We didn't even find anything, really, and he killed us just for almost finding something. I like that. That,
Yeah.
hanging in the air, that question. And you did, I will say, betray what he'd asked you to do, because you told him about him. Very specifically, I feel. So that's also So I don't want to spoil anything, because he might come up again.
he might
Who
come
knows?
up again. Who knows?
You might.
So, it sounds like everybody liked Aura as our first tryout.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
I think
yeah.
that's good news. Aura,
Hell
what
yeah,
do you
brother.
think about the group, aside from the cute environments and get-up we got going on?
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm very into aesthetics.
No, I mean, I think that's great. I'm glad that you're complimenting my work. I'm glad.
I will say one thing that I'd kind of forgotten before I started hearing all of you role-playing is that you take this so seriously. Like, the voices are very in-depth. It's such like a craft that you're creating together as a group, and it's really nice to see that. You bounce off each other very well, and I enjoy the kind of roleplay that you do, where it's not just like in your attitudes and your bearings, but also like creating a scene together by describing like the actions that you're taking. Because I feel like, I don't know, it's not quite as surface level as some that I've experienced, so it's nice to see.
Glad you enjoyed. Glad we could.
Role playing is an art, and we are connoisseurs.
I enjoyed
Method
a
of
lot.
D&D is great. Just actually being able to get into the idea of the characters is just And I wanted to
Especially-
say,
And now, I'm dead.
and now
The
he's
only-
dead.
The only bad part of this session is I don't get to play Little Garrosh anymore.
Big brain. Instead, you just have to play Little Gazlo.
True. A little goblin know-how.
So
Give him the clamps.
I have seen memes of Rat, I think, already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so funny to me.
Rat is just lightning in a bottle.
Thank you, Chad, for being willing to take into the character very well. I think the session was starting to get a little stale, and you really helped bring everybody out of the shell and actually let everyone start to experience their character.
Just in time for them to die.
Just in time.
I love playing Kai. I'm sad I don't get to play him anymore
There's
because he
always
is
the
the
opportunity
baddest
for
man
a
alive.
flashback. There's always an opportunity for a flashback.
Baddest man alive.
Maybe Hiroue hallucinates you as his imaginary friend.
Ooh, We do
Oh my
have
God.
we do have an
King's
Oath
party?
of Dreams paladin in the party.
Hey.
True.
You know, I don't want to. I don't want to rip off Arcane. I feel like we'd get sued.
Oh my God.
Ah.
If we have an Oath of Dreams, I might get to fucking.
Yeah,
I might
you get to be
fucking
3
Spike Man.
characters in one scene. You get to be Rat being like, why the fuck is he sleeping? You get to be Darius giving Cassis guidance, and you get to be fucking Kai just being like, bro, it's okay, let it go.
So true.
It's not that deep. You think I'd live this lifestyle if I wasn't prepared to fucking die every second?
True. For reference, Ara, I don't know if you know this, but my character Darius from the last campaign became the God of Dreams.
Oh. Well, I think I feel like I did know that, but I forgot. It was like a whole thing. It was very dramatic.
Yeah, a whole ascension, like the killing
Yeah.
of the god. It was great. I had so much fun.
Unless we have anything else, I believe that is a good stopping point for the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all
Absolutely.
for being here for this wonderful first installment of our Preludes. We have 4 more to go through. Next, we'll be exploring as this stranger comes to a strange land to get a out-of-country mercenary on their side, but not quite in the way that most people would traditionally expect. We get to be introduced to Rat's most important moment before the campaign.
Speaking of rat, new post-in memes.
No, I don't want. No. All right.
A new
It
bank.
better be our Rat. Yeah, goblin fishing pool. I agree with that. That is a very true statement. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the stream. Thank you for being such
Wait, you streamed
wonderful
this?
hosts. Yeah, I did.
Damn.
Reese watched all of it.
Yeah, as did Fern.
Huge.
And I want to thank you all for being such wonderful actors in this game of ours. And I look forward to hopefully seeing each and every one of you in the future.
Right, well, have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Farewell, my
Absolutely.
friends.